Hello everybody, how's it going? Awesome Soul here, and welcome back to what is most likely going to be the greatest gameplay you have ever seen. Hopefully. I don't know if you've seen anything better, but point is, I got into a game earlier today, and it was absolutely insane. Well, the outcome of it anyways, but starting out, we only had 3 players, 2 of which didn't spawn in, and we were up against a full team of tanks and mechs. And basically, I was the only full offense unit on the team, as you can see in my fantastic little helicopter here. It's not that little, but you got the idea. And then we had one dedicated healer drone, and another sort of mixed fighter, a healer as well. So basically, the outcome of this battle has finally proven to me that medics are very much still viable in this game. They are incredibly important. If we did not have this dedicated medic, or, well, any medic for that matter, we would have been absolutely screwed. So hopefully you enjoy this gameplay. But that's not exactly what I'm here to talk about. Of course, as you saw in the title, we are here to talk about the Ask Me Anything that was done on Reddit. Now, it's been out for a few days, and of course, link in the description to read the whole thing, because, well, I don't really have the time to cover all of it in excessive detail, just simply because there is an insane amount to read. So again, link down below, go read it for yourself, because I don't cover everything. Oh, but before that, actually, there is a event coming up, the Temporal Rift event, running on the 19th until the 21st of August. What exactly this event is, well, we're not entirely sure, at least when I'm recording. But we have had teasers, and what it appears to be is that all modules in the game have their cooldown reduced, by quite a lot. Like, for example, the disc shield. You basically plop it down, your cooldown starts, and then it looked like you only had to wait 3 seconds before you could place down another one. So that should be pretty interesting. And if you don't know what Robocraft events are, it's basically just special rules that are added temporarily to the game to spice things up a little bit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in to the Ask Me Anything. So I've gotten the short little too long didn't read description here that I've written out for everything. And starting off, the clans update on the 25th will contain the basics, like clan names, icons, members, basic ranks, etc. But more features will be added in the future. And yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, adding too many features all at once, just for one thing, would probably delay this even further. And I mean, they need other stuff too. They can't just focus on clans for like a whole month and a half. So I see why they're doing that. Now, electroplates have been in a very weird spot ever since auto-healing was introduced. So they are indeed going to be getting a rework, as I think was stated in the last AMA. But again, it doesn't really sound like it's going to happen too soon. But we never know. And when it comes to air versus ground, personally, Mark thinks that Mega Plasma is a little bit overpowered, and he seems to think that flak is underpowered. Now, he says anti-air weapons are feeling not quite right, but really flak is only the only dedicated anti-air weapon. I mean, there's missiles, but missiles are just as effective on a flyer attacking a ground unit as they are on a ground unit attacking a flyer, or another flyer attacking another flyer, or, well, really attacking anyone for that matter. Actually, ground versus ground, they're not super effective on. Insert Pokemon joke here. Anyways, the power booster is needed in high CPU matches, they feel, but they have, quote, big plans for power, and those are coming soon, and somehow they are related to clans, which I, for the life of me, cannot think how that's going to tie into clans. The only thing that I can think of would be if you're playing with a clan and therefore are a lot more, basically have a lot more teamwork because you can communicate a lot easier, then you would have less power to work with than a solo player who's kind of at a disadvantage without any communication options. Although, I think that's probably not what it is. Again, as I always say, that was just speculation, so not confirmed. Now, moving on, Robits. This is something that I'm sure a lot of you have been wanting for quite a while. Ever since really crates were released, actually. I've been hearing this quite a lot. But Robits will be added to crates. However, it's only going to be a, quote, modest amount. And interestingly enough, you can get more if you are playing with a clan or in a platoon, which is just what Overwatch does, actually, come to think of it. Basically, if you are playing, you get extra experience. Or playing with a group, you get extra experience, as opposed to playing solo. Which is interesting, because, I mean, Robocraft has always been more fun with friends, so why not reward yourself for making friends with people, and therefore staying in the game longer, I guess? Yeah, that's a thing. Also, they've stated here that they want to add some sort of clan rank up feature that will reward Robits to everyone in the clan, which is going to be interesting. At least that's the way that I interpret what they've said there about that. So yeah, that could be pretty damn cool, because it'll definitely give an incentive to everyone in the clan to actually rank up said clan. So again, that's probably going to be down the road, though. I would classify that as a more, quote, advanced feature of clans. So, not in the initial release, but eventually. Now, new maps. There is indeed a new map coming for Battle Arena, Pit, and League. Presumably Elimination as well, but they didn't exactly state that there. So it's being worked on right now, actually, and will take place around the crash site of a absolutely massive spaceship. I assume it's massive, at least in the picture that we have. There's a little picture on the screen right now, if I remember. Hopefully I do. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. That's just concept art. And if you notice, they have little plasma cannons. Well, they're not that little, but actually, yeah, no, those bays are supposed to hold robots. So that's like the size of your build bay. So those plasma cannons have to be massive. Mega plasma cannons? We'll see. But I think that might be a little overpowered, unless it's like 1,000 CPU, but I definitely do not see that happening. Anyways, Wheels and Tracks are actually going to be getting a full code rework, which is pretty awesome, because I have avoided Wheels since the very beginning of Robocraft. I have only made a cruiser one time, and I promptly scrapped it. So when Wheels are fixed, I might actually make a cruiser. And Tank Tracks, they were okay for quite a while, but now they're just really floppy and wobbly, and it's really weird. So hopefully they go back to being a lot more stable. And Tank Tracks are actually being worked on right now. So we should see that probably not this coming update, but hopefully next update. And then they also say Wheels are going to be a little far behind, or no, they're going to be following behind, if I could read. There we go. Reconnecting is something a lot of people have been wanting since the beginning of Robocraft, and what do you know? It's going to be added, quote, soon, which will be very nice. What they're also doing is adding a fill-in feature. So basically, if you left the game, presumably you have like a 1-minute window to reconnect if your game crashed or something, and then if you don't reconnect in that time, it will then open up to basically anyone in the queue can hop into a match in progress. Now, what they said on this actual feature in the past is that it will be toggleable. However, they didn't bring that up in this AMA. If I remember correctly, that was in the last AMA. So hopefully they keep that feature when they actually decide to add the whole fill-in function. Now, PVE, if you don't know what that is, that's player versus enemy, basically AI bots. So PVE features, such as raids against AI bots with friends, might be added to the game, eventually. But only if there's a community push for it. And from what they've said here, it's also going to be very far off. So maybe in like a year or so, or 6 months, or however long, we might possibly get it. I assume they're going to do like another community vote type thing. So I would definitely be voting for that, because that seems quite interesting. Like a big wave defense type thing, maybe you can build defenses along the route to help you defend. I think that'd be pretty neat. But yeah, only time will tell. I guess down below, what kind of PVE features would you like to see? That'd be kind of interesting to read. Anyways, Helion Impact Crater will be getting a rework. Not much more on that, really. So when it comes to other movement parts, mainly tracks and wheels, they are planning to make them, quote, just as cool as mech legs, which I can completely approve of. Which, yeah, it's something that I don't think I've really said it publicly before. Basically, my thoughts on mech legs have always been that they are the level that everything should aspire to. And basically everything needs to be raised up to that level. Because I've seen a lot of people on the forums say, oh, you know, mech legs are overpowered, they need to be nerfed. And my response to that is, pretty much every other movement part in the game is terrible right now, and not terrible. Some are terrible, like the wheels, and others are okay, like the rotor blades. But basically, why would you nerf something to the level of things that even FreeJam knows need to be reworked? So yeah, definitely glad that mechs aren't getting a nerf, but rather everything is getting a buff, or everything around it is getting a buff. I totally approve of that. And it also seems like the disc shield module as well as the EMP module are going to be improved. Basically what they're getting at in this statement here is that they sort of released the EMP module and I guess purposefully made it kind of underpowered, and now what they're doing is basically, because a little while ago they actually released some bars, what's the data, there we go, released some data, but it was like data bars. Anyways, they released data saying that the EMP is actually the least used module in the game, and I can see why. It's not really that good, it's very hard to use, and even for its secondary purpose, which was basically a area denial weapon, or in this case, module, it didn't really function all that well, because players actually had enough time to drive from one end to the other in most bot types. The only thing that could really get stunned are tank tracks, but tank tracks are even getting a rework, so maybe in the future it's not going to be able to stun anything reliably, and even then, it couldn't really reliably stun tank tracks. It was just the easiest out of all of the movement types. But yeah, definitely looking forward to an EMP rework soon. They didn't really say rework, they just say improvement. But yes, moving on. So there are going to be actual chat functions added to the next Thursday's update on the 25th. So a scrollable chat was one of the things that will be added, as well as other chat features. So no specifics here, but can't wait to see what that is, because chat has been a little lacking, or well, very lacking for quite a while. It's nice to see that it's finally being addressed. And something quite interesting actually came up as well. So they're going to be adding more size options for bots. Keyword options. So not entirely sure what it means, but it seems important that they specifically say options. So they do say that they want to add something kind of like a megabot, but nowhere near as large. So what I would kind of like to see out of this would be a super sized bot, basically just double sized, that's what I mean. So just double the CPU and no need for spectacularly large parts like the megabots had. I mean, we kind of do have those parts now, they're just sort of in the game. But I mean, like, you can use any part on this double-sized bot instead of being restricted like the way the megabots were. That would be pretty cool. Call it like a Titan bot, I don't know. So there is a way to affiliate other clans, but there's no way to alliance with them yet. So basically, if you, say, have like Soul Squad and then like Atlas Core over there, like, you know, you don't want to fight, you want to sort of kiss and make up, and yeah, anyways, let's not go any further with that analogy, but But yeah, if you want to, like, sort of not fight, I don't really know how it's going to work, actually, come to think of it, but some sort of affiliation with other clans is going to be added. Now, skis are getting a rework, as well as a radar rework is on the way. So basically, anything that falls under that umbrella, the radar, radar jammer, and radar receiver, will be changed over. Basically to let them function as their own thing and provide a useful buff to you as the player, regardless of whether, say, you're using a radar receiver and nobody on your team has a radar. So basically, you just wasted CPU on something that, right now, in this match, is completely useless. So adding a solo feature would be rather nice. And some other rework, too. Because, I don't know, I just feel that whole system is lacking. Clan size is limited to 50 currently, and you can't have 2 clan leaders, but you can have clan officers, which kind of have the same privileges, but just not quite as many. The platoon system is also being reworked, and it's going to remove the limit of players without premium. And they're also thinking about adding a, quote, party system to get large groups of players in at one time, but they're still figuring out how to work that. And last but not least, the one and only sprinter leg was brought up near the end of the AMA. Now, good news or bad news, depending on which style leg you like, but they're not going to be a bird-like leg, like in my original design. They are rather going to be a human-like leg. So they're going to be faster than the current mech leg, as well as lighter, but like my concept, they are going to have a long jump rather than a high jump, which would be a definitely good idea, because it distinguishes the leg a lot more from the other one. And as far as a time frame goes, they're saying about 6 more weeks to finish it. And I was expecting it to be a little sooner, but I guess not. Oh yes, that's because they're also adding 2 legs. A uncommon version of it and a epic version. Interestingly enough though, there is no rare version. Maybe they'll add that later, but we'll see. So, that kind of wraps up everything here. And again, like I said earlier, make sure you read the whole thing for yourself. I skimmed through everything, essentially, and skipped over a lot of other things that are quite interesting to read as well. So, with that, guys, let me know down below what you think of all of these changes that I've discussed, or anything else you happen to come across in the AMA list, I guess, whatever they call it. I don't know. Anyways, guys, I've been the Awesome Soul. I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.